Welcome again, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good day today. My name is Barbara Thompson, and as I was just telling Alyssa, I've worked in the architecture field for 10 years or so before moving into the education world. So I don't have too many slides really about me, but just a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. So some of the benefits of actually having online workflows have really come out in the last few months here. Many people who are already using some of those communication tools and working online probably had a little easier transition into the current work situation. I know for myself, I work mostly from home, and so really wasn't hard. And there are many ways that we can actually use our Bluebeam Revu tools to make that easier for members of the AEC industry. So we'll look at different phases of projects and how we can apply that online workflow. Just got one more slide here. And so these are just some very general things that we can do with our online workflow. So first of all, we'd be looking at how can we just manage all of those documents, convert everything to digital, and make those available to everyone in a project. We'll also look at using it to review our progress, solve problems, and just generally with the communication directly or even offline when we don't have the ability to be on the internet. And then the last part of that is actually just making sure that everybody, not just the people in the field, but everybody involved in the project is up to date. So everybody has kind of the latest, greatest set of documents that are available. So with that, to get into review. There we go. And so in addition to all of the markup tools that we can use when we're offline, we have 3 different kinds of tools that we can use, all based on the Bluebeam Studio work environment. So starting off just in review here, if I look at the very lower part on my left panel, I can access Studio. So Studio is where we'll be looking at our document management. Let me go ahead and switch over to that. And it looks like I'm already signed in. So when we first start working in Studio, the first thing we'll do is actually just sign in. So you sign up for a Studio account just with an email and a password, pretty standard as far as accessing online tools even from Autodesk or other companies. So when we're in the Studio environment, then we have 2 options here. We have our projects, and then we have sessions. So first I want to start off with projects and just look at the document management part of bringing those CDs online. So I'll switch over to projects here. I actually just created a new account, so there's nothing in here right now, because I want to start just kind of with a clean slate and go through how do we actually create these projects and then what do we do with them at that point. So the first thing I'll do is actually just go to the plus sign here and create a new project. So I'll add a project. Now I'll be adding a new project at this point. If someone else has created a project and invited you to that, then you would access that here, of course, by just going to join. And all you'd need is actually the ID for the project to join into the project. Now, why would you join a project, or why do you invite people to projects? This becomes your central drawing depository, I guess we could look at it that way, just a storage place for all of those documents related in a construction project, design projects. So let's give this a name to begin with, and then we'll just get started setting this up. So the nice thing about setting up projects in Revu is you can really duplicate a lot of your typical workflows as far as how do you store your documents and how do you access those. So we can put together folders for projects and then actually just upload those directly. Or you could set up your standard folder structure that you're using in your office and build that into your studio projects. So let's just create a new project here. And today is 20. I'll just call it a new project to make sure I don't duplicate anything I already have there. So once I've created the project, the first thing I can do is actually go over here and start uploading my documents. I can create the folders first. I can just upload files, or I can upload an entire folder. So I'll go ahead and just grab a few files. I don't want to do a whole folder. That might cause my internet to crash here. So I'll go ahead and just add some files into this project. These look pretty good. Let's see, actually, I got a few in this one that I'd rather use. And so there they are, so they're loading. Now I just loaded PDFs into a project. The studio projects can actually handle any type of document, so any format that you have that's connected to a project. So this can include, Word files. So if you have different documents, maybe RFIs, any types of images can be added to projects. Revit drawings, CAD drawings, all of those in addition to PDFs, of course. So this makes it a good place to actually coordinate and collect all of that stuff in one location. This is also unlimited as far as the storage that you can put up here. So I actually store a lot of things just kind of as cloud storage, just in a more central location. I can actually just go in there and then download my files from any location that I'm at. And even when I'm not actually working on, a construction project or an architecture project, I can use it just for any types of document storage. But during our project here, the next thing I'll do is actually just invite people into the project so that they can participate in here with me on a project. So they can come in here and select drawings and check them out to work on those, maybe add markups, or even the participants can download files from here if they needed a copy on their own local workstation. So I'll go into my settings for my project up here. Now in here, I just loaded some files. Let me move that out of the way. I loaded these files individually. I could also set this up with my folders in here and have it organized, in my typical standard format for my projects. But then in the project settings now, so there's my project name, and here's the ID that I can invite other participants to join with. Or first I'll go to my user access. I'll just add in by email, and you can add, if you have them in your contacts, you can also import from your contact list into here, so you don't have to go in and type everybody's email in here separately. There we go. And just copying and pasting some emails from my other document here. And I'm actually logged in as a different user, so I can go ahead and use my own email here. And then before I actually send that, we'll look at the different permissions. So you can actually put all types of documents up here, but maybe not everyone needs access to all of them, or that you want them to all have access to. or for the overall project, if you want them to be able to add files into the project, or if they can invite other users. Right now, I've got it locked down pretty good. Nobody can really invite others. Everything's denied here. Let's just go to, I'll say that they can share links, and that's about it. So I can just choose to allow them to do that. I could also just give them full control, and then they'll have permission for all of these other types of access. I could get a little bit more granular in here and look at just saying, what type of folder permissions. If I have folders listed, I could say, certain users can have access to certain folders. So let's say they can do, we'll just leave it at read only at this point for the root folder there. And then OK. So now their invites have actually been sent out. And while they're actually waiting for those and getting logged in, we'll take a look at what we can do with these documents that I have loaded now. When I highlight the document, I can open it within the session. Just go ahead and say yes. I'll look at that side by side here. We can close this down a little bit. So now I have this drawing and I'm reviewing it. It says that it's not locked at the moment. Go back to my list over there. Just close that for a second. If I wanted to actually work on the drawing, then I can check it out so that no one else who has access to my project can be working on it at the same time. So if I'm going to make changes to it, or if I'm going to even replace these sheets in here with new sheets from, maybe I did a new print from Revit and I want it replaced, I don't want anybody to actually be working on something at that time and where they might lose their work. So we'll go ahead and right click on one of the files here and just check it out. You also have the option right below there just to download a copy, which then of course you've lost the ability to control what's going on with that, and none of your changes are going to be uploaded in here. So I'll just check that one out. Now, I'll actually sign in on my other screen here, so just so we can kind of see what's happening in my current window while someone else is working in the review session. So I'll actually go in here. Let's bring this over for a second so you guys aren't looking at nothing. So this is my own studio's site. And I'll go to projects, and I want to add a new project, so I really just want to join. Now I actually would have gotten an email that asked me to join this project. So just do it this way here, get my session ID. And there it is right at the top. So I'm just going to type this in. So if you have the number and you're allowed to share it, then you can really just, anybody who has the ID number can log in. And so now I'm logged in as another user ID. Let me overlap that so it's not too confusing. If I look at that PDF that I have checked out with the other persona in here, then I can see it's going to tell me that it's actually already checked out. It tells you who has it. You can send a message to them. I need to work on that document, whatever you need to do. But I can't check it out. If I click on it, checking out is not available. All I can do is download a copy and work on it that way, and then there are other ways to coordinate it, but at this point I can't do anything with that one. So I could open another one and say, okay, well, I'll check this one out instead. Oops, that one doesn't. Let's see what's going on with that one. Let's synchronize here. Now our other options here, it's not letting me do this because it's getting a little confused because I have two sessions of Bluebeam running here on my computer. So I'm going to move this one back off of the screen here. Now, when I'm finished working on that, then I'll simply just go back in, I'll make whatever changes. So now that I have this checked out, I can open it in Review. I'm actually not working in the project. I have the document checked out. I can make some changes to it. Just throw a cloud on there, just do a couple of things here. And there we go. So then I'm done. So now I want to check it back in. Now you have the choice to either go back into here to just cancel your checkout, which would throw away all of your changes. Or I'll go ahead and save it and then check it back in. So I can do undo, which would just throw everything away, or I'll just check this back in. To open that back up again, and there are my changes. So now anybody that checks that drawing out will see the changes that I've made. So with the project then, this is more of our document management. You can have your submittals in here, you can check those, and it can save you a lot of the times when you might have to make a trip out to the site to check on something or verify anything in the field. You can actually have someone who's already there attach images, put them into this folder, and make them accessible to you from the office, and save you a lot of time as far as making all of those site visits. Can also speed up the process of getting things approved. So you just digitally get approval for, maybe it's from the owner, maybe you just need some QA, QC from the engineers. All of this is digital, making it more seamless as far as getting those things accomplished. Now, if I do have something that I need to know right now, and I want to get more than one attendee involved into questions on a document here, then what we can do is actually take one of our project's files or multiple files. I'll just grab these two. And then when I do a right click and add these to a new session. So sessions are the real-time collaboration where, similar to when I added the markups to this document here, they actually will appear in the documents in Review, but these will actually come in real time so that anyone who's logged in at that time will be able to see what I've marked up. So I'll add this to a new session. Let's just call this the 0520 session. I apologize for the background noise, guys. I try to drown it out, but I can't talk all the time. So here's my new session. Now, in the session, now I'm just adding my documents in there directly. You can also start a session directly if you don't have a studio project set up. So maybe your project is further along and you just need to do a review. Or maybe it's in CDs and you want to send it out to the engineer for consultation. You can do that, or you can go directly from a project. So projects, because they are unlimited in the file type and the size that you can actually store in there, it gives you a lot more power as far as actually that document management. Sessions are limited to PDFs only. So I can take these PDFs and bring them into a live session. I can't do that with any of my other file types. And so that's why I like to set it up in the project first as just a standard workflow. Set up a project and then bring in only the files that I need in my sessions. So I've added the documents here, and then again, I would just add participants for my new project or my new session. So on the right side, I still have the project open. So I always want to watch these tabs at the top to see which one we're actually working in. So Close this one and select one of the documents that I've added to my session. Here it is. And then I'll go into this little envelope and invite some other participants. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. And so now I've sent that invitation. So once that comes up on my other screen here, then we'll start working together in the session. When you send those invites, they are email invites, and so there's a small amount of delay in there as far as when they receive the email and then join the session. So we'll see that come up here in a minute. As far as what you can do in a session, it is only limited to the PDF, but you'll still have all of your markup tools available over here. So I can start adding markups to it. The nice thing about sessions is even though you have the ability to collaborate real time, if someone's not online and they can't actually join the session live, they can still come in later and see all of the comments that have been made in the project. They can add their own comments and they can communicate that way what's going on, and they can respond to any of the comments and maybe give a status to anything that's been assigned to them. So now I'll join this session. Okay. And with the sessions, you'll also have a record. Now it says I need permission. How about that? Because I was signed into the other account. So we'll have the other participant join here in just a second. So I had to approve them joining that one. So we'll go ahead and put my session ID in there. All right, I already told you could join. Let's see. Okay. And while that one's joining, I'll go ahead and get in with my other. Trying to be too many people here all at once. Let's see. When somebody does join, you will get that alert saying that someone's joined the session. You'll have this record, and this will go on as long as the project is, or the session is active. So the session will remain active as long as attendees are continuing to log in, make any changes, or check on the progress. Or if the host, whoever created this session, puts an expiration date on it. So these will be available until that time. So I've joined the session. Let me get over here and load the document and do some markups. So I made a markup on the other sheet. Let's go to that one. And there we go. So let's do one more so we can show you that. And so real time, everything's coming in here and everyone can see it. Now the other person who's not logged in right now can come in at a different point, and let me actually just assign some of these to them. We can if you have a column for this, you can assign responsibility, or I can even come in here and say, okay, the status on this one, I'll accept that. And this all becomes part of the record. When the session's finished, once everybody's done or it's expired, then as the host who's created this, I can go and I can end the session. So I'll just do that. So this will give the markups from anyone that's in there. You can make your choices as far as what type of report we want there. That all looks fine. We'll just say OK. And then it'll bring up a list of everything that went on in that session. So anything that's occurred in our markups list here, go ahead and say OK there. Now we'll have a permanent record. It can also be stored in this into the project in Studio. And there it is. So complete record, complete accountability for anything that's been done in this set of documents. Now the last feature that I want to show you as far as our online workflow is the use of a new tool called the Studio Drawings, or Bluebeam Drawings, I guess is the actual name. And what Drawings is a mobile app that gives you the ability to access your drawings from anywhere. So because it's actually from a mobile device, I've got some pictures here that I have from my mobile device. And so this is Bluebeam Drawings. It works in connection with your Studio projects in that you can take your projects and actually upload them directly to the Drawings app. So this is a free app, and anyone that you have invited to that project then can access the drawings, and you can send them to people who actually aren't going to be doing any work as far as markups in the drawings, but maybe you just have a specialty contractor that needs some clarification on one of the drawings. You can actually send that to them directly on their phone. So in here, I have some documents. This is the actual view that we would have on your phone. This is actually done on a small tablet, so it maybe has a little bit better. I was hoping I'd get a little bit better graphics that way, using a bigger screen. So these are the drawings that have actually been sent to me in the app. Oops. So a full set of documents that's available. Now on your phone, of course, and I can't do this right here, but I think I have a zoomed in view. You can actually select a sheet, and then you can zoom in while you're using your device and then zoom in on those details. This would include, you could send them markups along there if you are sending, just maybe some shop drawings out that are approved so that they can actually see your markups on those as well.
Oh, and Barbara, Tiffany just messaged me and said you can only upload if you're on maintenance. Otherwise, you can only view.
Oh, correct. Yes, that's right. So you can allow anyone to view it. So you can send these to people who have the app. But as far as actually taking your project files and uploading them into the app, right, you have to be on maintenance. Other than that, I don't even think you have to have Bluebeam loaded anywhere to use the Drawings app just as a viewer. This is just a list of, if you go to the website to upload the drawings, if you did have maintenance and you wanted to upload things into the app, then you would select your projects and then add them into a project for drawings. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for questions now. Did you have any other questions, Alyssa?
Yeah, I have one from Tom. What happens when the creator/owner of a project no longer works at the company? How can the owner of the project be transferred to another user?
As far as transferring the ownership of that project, I think they'd actually have to download the files and create a new project.
Interesting stuff. If you want a little more info on that, Tom, just message me down below and I'll get you in touch with one of our specialists who can help you figure that out. Another question we have is, how can I see changes made when someone is working? What? I think we have some delay here.
Go ahead.
How can I see changes made when someone is working with a studio project document?
When they actually would synchronize, so when you're in the project and they synchronize, then the changes are available to everyone else in the project. Now, they may not be able to check it out yet, but as long as it's still checked out in there, let's see if we can pull one over here. And so you can open up the documents in the project and view them. And right now you can see the little icon over here that says to synchronize it. So as they're being made, as the drawings are being updated, they have to be synchronized to actually push it into the cloud. Now, if they're working offline and they make changes either in a session or in the project, then once they get back online, it'll upload the new changes, any markups that you've made in an offline session or even in a project.
Okay. So just a markup list will show all the changes. Another question is
to actually note what changes are.
Yeah. Is there a way to coordinate audio with a session?
That's a good question. I'm sorry, I haven't ever tried to do that because you have kind of the ongoing, there is get your little markups list down here. Now you can give notifications, and I forgot to mention that, but you can choose to follow what someone else is doing in a session, and you can send them notifications if they are being directed to make changes or to at least pay attention to something. But I don't believe there's an audio component because it's really not a sharing type of software in that way. But you'll see the list here will continue to develop as the changes are made.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I'm pretty sure it's visual only, no audio, just live collaboration. And as an answer to the earlier question, someone commented in, a project owner can't be changed if someone leaves. For those circumstances, Studio Prime is recommended to help manage those projects and sessions in the event of a turnover.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. And I have another question. Yeah. Can I compare the current version of a PDF with a previous version, such as when a user checks out, then checks back in?
Yes, you can. You can still use your compare documents features that are available in your documents tab up here. So you could either do an overlay pages or do compare documents directly in the project. So you could upload the revised files and do a compare that way. And you can also just replace them and do the slip sheeting. If for Extreme anyway, you could do a batch slip sheet. So if you had all new documents, you can bring those in and add them to the set and mark the previous as superseded, all in one pretty streamlined process anyway.